And welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast, the entertainment business news show for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. You know, I think I just messed up the intro. How long have I been doing this? I messed up the intro, and I run on autopilot and I let the thing happen. But as soon as I said, I don't know, I wasn't even paying attention to what I was saying. Hey, I'm wearing, if you're not watching the video, which I know a lot of you aren't, because I get listeners, I don't get viewers. I'm wearing a Childish Gambino t-shirt that I got when I saw him in Athens, Georgia. Jesus Christ, how long ago was that? When did I graduate college? And then minus 4 years. Because I think I saw it. No, because I had my car sophomore year, so I probably saw him sophomore year. Oh my goodness. I don't know the math on this. It is 2026. Let's do the math. 2026. 14 years ago. Anyway, and then after I saw him in concert, because I drove from Chattanooga to Athens, and then I stayed with friends in their dorm in UGA. I almost soon after that stopped being a fan of Childish Gambino. I'm not kidding. I was like, all right, well, he's played out. And as of January, I would maybe say November of last year. I was going to say January of this year, but maybe November of last year. Because YouTube Music or Spotify or Apple Music, whomever you use, whatever streaming platform you use, because you favorited songs or YouTube videos years ago, they will suggest to you, hey, you're still a fan of this person. Anyway, all that is to say, whenever I would play, like I would just click on, A$AP Rocky. I would just say, it plays A$AP Rocky radio. It's the only one I can think of right now. Then it would play a Childish Gambino song. So they forced me back into being a reluctant fan. So there you go. You might be hearing a dog outside. It's not Maverick. He's not barking. He knows better than do that. This is going to sound. There's a woman. There's a couple that lives downstairs. I'm somewhere above the noise, but there's a couple that lives downstairs, and while they don't have a balcony, they have an exit onto a grassy area that walks out basically into. We have a garage. We have apartments on that surround the garage, and then if you either have a balcony or your apartment lets out onto like the grass below with the street that is inside the gated complex. That's right, baby, we're gated. But there's and the grass is where the dogs poop. It's everybody has access to it. You're not special. But these people moved in a couple of years ago. I would probably say like 2 years ago. And I would take, Maverick down, but they would treat it as their own grassy area. So I would come home from the gym. It'd be like 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'd take him down to do his business, specifically in that area. There's other places around the complex to do it, but this is closest to my apartment. And they have a doodle. This is people say pit bulls are mean, angry dogs. It's always every single dog that's ever, I'm not kidding. This is no exaggeration. And I know I've said this before. Every dog that has ever attacked Maverick or gotten in a fight with Maverick, because he will not start it. He just wants to play, has been a purchased dog, namely Doodles. Doodles, golden retrievers, labs, less so labs, but it's typically Doodles retrievers. Because my theory is that the people that own those dogs do not associate their dogs with other dogs or different style dogs, and a lot of them associate them with just humans. So they'll take it to a brewery, a church, or whatever. But they see of an angry, aggressive dog in quotes. They sprint across the street. I've had people walk in the middle of traffic, or like walk into oncoming traffic in the middle of the street to get away from us on the sidewalk. That's no joke. I'm dead serious. Anyway, but this couple with this doodle, and he's big. He's aggressive, and he barks all the time. He barks at other dogs. Like he doesn't. I don't necessarily think it's humans, because I've only been around it with dogs. But they also take him to the dog park, so he might just be like leash aggressive or whatever. But anyway, he barks all the time, and they treat that little area, that grass area, from their patio as their own. So I used to take Maverick down there, and then they would like open that patio, and then they'd just be like, mad that someone's out there, like, you close the door and like stand there and wait. And then their front door opens up towards the garage area, where there's also a little grass thing before the garage, or pine straw thing. And even still, that's where they now take him, I guess, most of the time, because that's where I hear the friggin' barks coming from. And he barks at, people doing the same thing with their dogs, people taking their dogs to go piss and poop. Today, I don't like that couple. I don't like them. And today, I'm sitting here recording an audiobook for a side project, a side gig. And this is like truly like 30 or 40 minutes ago. And I hear the dog barking, and there's another. Everyone, I'm going to tell you this. There's me, and there's another girl who has, because we're both girls, who have pits, or pit mixes rather, because her dog is a mix, and everybody else has a purchased, like thousands of dollar dog. I'm not kidding. Like except for there's a corgi. There's one corgi. There's two corgis, because I saw another one today. And then everybody else is like these thousands of dollar dogs, which is why I never go to the dog park in my apartment complex. But there's a girl, I guess, who just moved in with her boyfriend that are down the hall, and they have a doodle as well. She does not put on a leash. This is fucking ridiculous. I come home from the gym. She's a nurse. I come home from the gym sometimes, at least and twice this week has happened. She'll like be on the way to work, but she'll be taking her dog out, no leash, and she's like walking up the stairs. The dog's like following me, and no acknowledgement of me, just acknowledging the dog. Nope, come here. You gotta come here. No, this way. And then yesterday, I finally acknowledged the dog, them, and I was like, well, I've said hello before, but I was like, oh, he started following me. I was like, oh, you want me to go this way? And no joke, like didn't like the jokes, nothing. Anyway, I'm on a time crunch. I'm telling this long ass, boring fucking story. Anyway, I believe I just heard the big doodle owner, and then that young woman who refuses to put her dog on a leash. I believe I just heard them in an argument. Like again, 40 minutes ago, I heard them in an argument where the woman without the leash went to take her dog out, and then that other dog just started hounding at them. And then they were like, and I heard the two girls screaming at each other. And I wanted to open the door and go, shut the fuck up. I'm recording a werewolf gay audiobook. I don't know if I know I've spoken about it on LinkedIn Logs, which is the Jobs and Business podcast. But one of my side jobs, is my only side job. My side job, because I'm now I've had a job in television again for the past few months. But my side job is recording audiobooks for Audible, and the only books I've gotten 6 offers. I had to decline one because it was garbage. And there was another offer canceled. there was another one by the same author that it was all like an ad, and Audible ended up having to delete it. But anyway, but of the 6 projects I've gotten, I've recorded 5, and 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, yes, are in the same universe, and that's pretty much it. They're gay werewolf audiobooks. A lot. It's yeah. It is. It's exactly as it sounds. All right, let's get to it. All right, this first story comes from Game Informer, and it is written by Marcus Stewart. Xbox shares new hardware details for next generation console, Project Helix. So, as you might recall, a week ago or two, Phil Spencer stepped down. Sarah Bond left Microsoft, and the two of them were replaced with the new CEO, Asha Sharma, and the new CCO, some guy whose name is not in this. I'm not going to go look it up. The Game Developers Conference is happening. Oh, and so we know that there's a new Xbox on the horizon, and as such, there's a new PlayStation 5 on the horizon, or PlayStation on the horizon. But we don't know when either of those is coming. The Game Developers Conference is happening this week. What the hell is this? Oh, it's my MacBook's, the work MacBook has a charger. Also, yeah, the job they gave me, the most powerful MacBook Pro from, I think, last year. And I can only use it for work. So sometimes I'll read like New York Times on it, and I'll go, "This is blazing fast." But Sharma was talking about, or gave hints into what this new Xbox console, codenamed Project Helix, will be doing. And one of the things is it will be able to play both console and PC games. There was a keynote, I guess, for Xbox, and there's a multi-year partnership with AMD. Project Helix will be powered by a custom AMD SoC, basically a multi-integrated microchip, and is co-designed for the next generation of DirectX and FSR. So that hardware is going to be nice and powerful. AMD is really coming into its own in the last has been coming into its own rather, and really just picking up the ball where other NVIDIA chips in particular have dropped. They're shipping alpha versions of Project Helix to developers starting in 2027, so we probably won't hear much more about the console until late 2027 or early 2028. I would guess as much. They want to help break down barriers between console and PC games, and they want to give studios a simplified development path to help reduce production costs. Because it costs money to produce games for both PC and Xbox and PlayStation, and then Nintendo and mobile, if that's your bag. To this end, Xbox is also taking a page from the ROG Xbox Ally, which is the handheld PC that is Xbox branded. That's pretty much what it is. By introducing an Xbox mode to Windows 11 in April, starting in unspecified select markets. Xbox mode lets players switch seamlessly between work and game applications, quote, with a familiar full screen and controller optimized Xbox experience while embracing the openness of Windows. Windows has been taking a lot of hits lately. I feel like I've seen a lot of online conjecture talking about how Windows is just bad because they've made a real shift towards AI and the pay model. And you know, if what I like about Mac is it really runs for the limitations that it has. We're gonna smooth breeze right past that. For the limitations that it has, and for the walled garden that it is, to the very least, it mostly works. I have a lot of issues. I have a Mac Mini, M1 Mac Mini. I have a lot of issues with just the platform in general. But for the most part, it just works. And I at some point, you just need things that work. And I wish Microsoft would do something about the Windows situation, because this AI thing, we can't just throw AI on things and just hopefully everything just works, because that's not how things are. But having this new Xbox that's going to come, I'm excited, but I also I said it last time I talked about Xbox and PlayStation. We don't need new consoles because these things are still running very well. When I turned on the PlayStation this week, I blew dust off the controller. I turned on the PlayStation this week, and it runs smoothly as compared to the PS4. At the end of that life cycle, or its life cycle, I just felt it was just chugging along, but not in the same way that the Xbox One was chugging along. Oh man, that thing was running poorly. At the same vein, my Switch is. I love the Switch. I need a Switch 2. I'm excited to get a Switch 2, even if it's just iterative. All right, this next one comes from Variety. It's written by Rebecca Rubin. Movie theaters rejoice. Universal extends theatrical window to 5 weekends in 2026, 7 weekends starting in 2027. We were concerned, movie-going fans were concerned that there was going to be a shortening of the theatrical window during the pandemic. Thanks to the pandemic, really, we saw Universal in particular shift to 45 days. But now Universal Pictures is basically taking that back and saying, we're going to commit to putting movies in theaters. That means the upcoming Super Mario Galaxy movie is going to be in theaters longer. So there's a better chance for people to see it, to go and chase it in theaters, as opposed to just waiting for it to come to Peacock, I assume. It's a major change from the pandemic era, when Universal was aggressive in brokering deals that shortened the theatrical window to roughly 17 days or 3 weekends. Now the studio is committing to longer runs, promising a minimum of 5 weekends in 2026 and 7 weekends in 2027 before a film moves to home entertainment. It's a huge win for movie theater owners. There used to be 90-day windows, but the industry average settled at roughly 45 days because of the pandemic again. And this kind of commitment is especially meaningful to the nation's cinema operators, as ticket sales lag around 20% behind pre-pandemic years. I love going to the movies. It's my favorite thing to do. One of my favorite things to do. And I was going to reference the Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay, or when they, if you've ever seen that movie, I'm thinking about the part where they run into that Klan meeting in the woods, and the guys talk about their 3 favorite things to do. Oh my goodness, I'm just all references today. What I like about Mac. But I went to the movies again. Is the first time since I've had this job. I did not. I can't go during the day anymore, which stinks. I was thinking about this. I would love for a movie theater to open at 8 a.m. because I start work at 10, and I work from home. I would leave the gym, shower, eat, take Maverick out. Not in that order. Take Maverick out, eat, and then shower and stretch. And I would go to the movies at 8 a.m. And I would go see a movie, and then I would come back home, and I could start my day. I would love that. Oh, God, I would love that. That'd be wonderful. You don't think I would see Project Hail Mary at 8 o'clock in the morning? I'd be so friggin' excited. Anyway, I saw Hoppers, Disney Pixar's Hoppers, and I'm going to say that this is the best Disney Pixar movie in years. It doesn't talk down to you like Inside Out does. It's not boring like that piece of shit, The Good Dinosaur. Hoppers is good. It was not empty and soulless like Elio. I'm looking at the list. I liked Elemental a lot. I really, really like Elemental. You know I fucking hate Turning Red. And I despise Luca. Ask me if I bought Luca last week. I did. Again, I am on a march to own all of the Disney Princess movies and the Pixar movies. I currently do own all the Disney Princess movies, although the Snow White has been upgraded to 4K, and I did buy an HD version. I did buy the HD version of that movie by accident. I thought it was 4K, and I bought Frozen on Blu-ray years ago, and it's only in HD. So I would love to upgrade those to 4K. Hoppers is so fun and it's so funny, and there's no love story. It's just a girl puts her brain into a robotic beaver, and she makes friends with the animals, and they try to save this glade or whatever it's called. I love it. I do have one issue with the movie, and it's not with the characters. It's with the character. It's with the characters of Mabel's, the main character, her parents. And this is not ruining anything. This girl, she has anger issues, and when she's with her grandmother, those anger issues subside because her grandmother takes her to spend time outside, where the animals are. When Piper, so that starts when she's young. The movie starts when she's young, and then she grows up to be 19 years old, and she's in college. And she decides to stay, and her parents decide to move across the country, and she decides to stay with her grandmother as her grandmother is sick and dying. It's a Pixar movie. That's how these things start. Her parents, first of all, her mom just drops her off when she's young at her grandma's house. She goes, "I don't have time for this. You take care of her." And then when Mabel's 19, her mom goes, "Are you sure? You sure you want to? You sure you want to stay here? Moving across the country is going to be good for you." And she's like, "No, I don't want to do that." And then her parents just leave, and then we never hear from them for the rest of the movie. This girl's grandmother dies. She's living in her grandmother's house. Oh my gosh, it's just sad. The comedy and the writing is fantastic. Daniel Chong, who is the creator of We Bare Bears, wrote the story. And Jesse Andrews, who is the writer for the book Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, which is a fantastic movie. I've never read the book, but it's a fantastic movie. They have similar... Oh, he wrote the screenplay for Luca? Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, he also wrote the movie version of Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. Okay. All right, he wrote 2 out of 3 good movies. But Daniel Chong's humor really comes across in this in Hoppers. And if you like We Bare Bears, you're going to love this movie. It's so great. John Hamm is fantastic. And also, this movie doesn't look like a Pixar movie. It looks good, but there's a lot more motion to things in a cartoon way, in the same vein as Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, those movies. And probably like early or mid DreamWorks films, everything before How to Train Your Dragon 2, because those are way too realistic, I think. I really like Hoppers. I saw it at night. I rode my bike over, was sweating, and I brought my dinner in. I forgot about that. I cooked dinner at like 4 p.m. And then and I did yoga, and then I biked over when my workday was done. I was late. Let me tell you, I walked in, and it was my fault, but I left the house at like 6:14, and the movie started at 6. But I knew there was gonna be trailers, so I biked my little butt over there, and I walked in at 6:21. I've never ridden so fast, and I walked in at 6:21. And I heard the AMC announcer, please be sure to turn off your cell phones. I was like, yes! Silenced my phone, silenced the watch, sat down. My dinner was still hot. It's just munching on dinner. And I brought a little dessert in what's it called? Mango, dried mango from Trader Joe's. Also, this movie, the second billed person was Bobby Moynihan, and I just went, friend of the show, Bobby Moynihan. Everyone did a great job. It's fantastic. Go check it out. Anyway, the theatrical window has been extended, so that's good. All right. Next up, let's make a quick hit. This comes from Variety. It's written by Arushi Jacob. Audiences prefer films with diverse casts. UCLA study finds. I've every time one of these studies is published, I continue to keep talking about this thanks to the Hollywood Diversity Report that's released on a yearly basis, the annual Hollywood Diversity Report, via UCLA's Annenberg Inclusion Initiative. It was published today, Thursday. The full report takes a deep dive into audience preferences, casting diversity, and box office trends. People want to see themselves represented on film, and I will guarantee people want to see that same thing in television. However, we have movies like Charlie XCX's movie, or Chloe Zhao, even though she's a woman of color, directing a movie. A big Oscar movie, Hamnet. You still, I'm sure she's going to get the accolades she deserves, but we're not seeing people of color in those movies. Films with casts that were 41 to 50% BIPOC, I don't like saying that, people of color, performed the best across several categories, including the highest median global and domestic box office receipts, the largest average theater releases, the highest average opening weekend rank, and the widest international distribution. My one thing is, I know that superhero movies or big action movies, big tentpole films, aren't really cast with people of color because of the overseas market. Because people overseas want to see, or we've been told that people overseas want to see. Basically white people in those roles. The diversity range closely mirrors the 45.2% BIPOC share of the U.S. population, suggesting that films reflecting demographic reality resonate with audiences. BIPOC moviegoers also over-indexed as ticket buyers for films with 21 to 30% BIPOC casts and for films with more than 40% BIPOC casts. Science fiction, so this is the genre trends of 2025. Science fiction films generated the highest median global box office earnings, while horror films achieved the highest median return on investment. Audience composition varied by genre as well. White moviegoers dominated the audience for biographies, documentaries, and dramas, which coincidentally had the lowest median box office receipts. In contrast, BIPOC audiences made up the majority of viewers for animation and horror films, and nearly half of the audience for action films. I wanted to see The Monkey, and I watched the trailer, and there were no people of color in the movie. I checked out IMDb. There's no people of color in the movie, so I said I'm not going to watch that movie. Same thing for See No Evil. Just not going to see those movies. People want to see themselves on television and in movies, on the big screen and on the silver screen. We need to see more casting diversity. That's very important. People love this stuff, and I don't see why it's still increasingly difficult for movies and shows to. I'm going to do it all encompassing right now. Movies and shows to not cater towards the audiences that they want to watch. I'm watching Survivor 50 right now. And every time Mike White is on screen, they're like, oh, Mike White. But the White Lotus is not about the people of color that those white people are, that the white characters are wronging. I've never seen the show. But I know that I've seen enough and I've read enough that they're not the main characters. The main characters are the white leads, which is unfortunate. Why are people giving this any attention? Why is Hacks still winning awards? Hacks sucks. And I watched the first season. It's just two white women complaining. It's like half of Sex in the City. Female leads fell sharply after a historic high in 2024, and among the top 20 global box office films, female-led titles dropped from 9 to 6. Jesus, oh my God, what is so difficult? Why can't we just like this is why I like a movie like Ballerina. Sure, it's IP, but at least it's a movie starring a woman and a woman of color in an action film that's just as good as the other ones. That's right, I said it. I love John Wick. Will I ever watch The Continental on Peacock? No, Mel Gibson's in it. Fuck that guy. Hire women. Hire people of color. Let's just do it. Look at Lilo and Stitch. Look at Zootopia 2. Those movies were gigantic. And you know what? People want to see that fox and that bunny have sex. I don't know why. There was no point during that movie I thought, oh, I would love to see those two get together. I wanted to solve the mystery. I wanted to see what was going on with those Lionels. What were those animals? What were the bad guys? Lynxes. Yeah. I'm trying to focus. Is Flash gonna be in this movie? He's so funny. He's my favorite character. Where is he showing up? He's driving a fast car. That's hilarious. It is so hot in here. Yesterday, it was like 80 degrees. And then the air kept kicking on. And I was like, oh, God, my utility bill. And then this morning I woke up. It was pouring down rain. And it was like 40 degrees. And I slept only in my underwear because it was hot. And I loved it. There weren't a lot of people at the gym. Oh, so good. And then I come home. Still raining a little bit. Take Maverick out, and then by the time I finish cycling, it stops raining, and then the sun comes out at like 10. It's ridiculous. And then it was hot. But it was also chilly, so I'm walking outside with a thin sweatshirt and a vest. What am I complaining about? All right, I'm moving on. These final set of stories are the same ones. This comes from TechCrunch. TikTok now lets Apple Music subscribers play full songs without leaving the app. It's written by Aisha Malik. It's the same genre of story, more or less. TikTok has partnered with Apple Music to allow subscribers of the streaming service to play full songs without leaving the social network, the company announced on Wednesday. So if you're a TikTok subscriber and you hear, Blackpink's Go. Oh, I love that song. It's so fucking good. You hear Blackpink's Go on a clip on the app, a video on the app, a clip. I call videos clips. You hear it on a video on the app. Then you're going to be able to, and your Apple Music, I guess, is linked to TikTok. You're going to be able to continue to stay on the TikTok platform while listening to Blackpink's Go. Apple Music subscribers who discover a song they like on their TikTok For You page or sound detail page can tap the new Play Full Song button to open up Apple Music Player to listen to a full track. This is just like an evolution of what TikTok is, but it's also kind of a regression because TikTok started out as music.ly, music.ly. So it was always a music-based thing. But this is a move forward for this app that wants to be kind of a super app because I guess people get their news from it. They laugh at stuff on it. And then they also, I have to make pizza dough today. Jesus Christ. And then they also, I just remembered that. I guess they chat with people on it. And you can watch live stuff on it. And you can shop on it. That's where I was trying to get to. It's Streams are paid with, oh, okay. This is cool. The new feature is built using Apple's Music Kit, which means full-length song playback takes place on Apple Music, so streams are paid within the streaming service. So I assume Apple Music pays better than TikTok when it comes to music streams. Like Taylor Swift is, if you're listening to Crazier from the Hannah Montana the movie soundtrack, that's written and performed by Taylor Swift, then I'm a little girl on the inside. Then she'll be paid via Apple Music as opposed to being paid by TikTok. That's very smart on their part. Very smart on TikTok's part. There's also going to be a new listening party feature that lets fans listen to songs from their favorite artists in real time. Fans can interact with each other and the artist during the session, which TikTok says will allow for more social experience music. So that'd be great if you are a fan of Ed Sheeran and he does a TikTok live and he's like, check out my latest single, and he sits there and listens to with you, and you're like, boop a doop a doop a doop. Now, bouncing off of that, this comes from Variety. It's written by Todd Spangler. TikTok's big audio play app packs with iHeartMedia for radio channels spanning 28 U.S. stations, Creator Podcast Network. TikTok is not stopping with this music thing. It's teaming with iHeart to launch TikTok Radio from iHeart. If you're a subscriber to SiriusXM like I am, TikTok Radio was on SiriusXM for a couple of years, but now it's going to iHeartRadio, which I would, as much as I love SiriusXM, iHeart is a little bit more accessible for people who don't pay. It's going to have a live audio channel that will blend content from creators with music. It will launch March 13th, tomorrow, on the free iHeartRadio app and on 28 iHeartMedia broadcast stations across the U.S., from New York to L.A., Atlanta, Austin, Chicago, Dallas, Nashville, and Miami. And then this is something different. This is something new. iHeartMedia and TikTok are teaming on a slate of podcasts for popular creators on the TikTok Podcast Network, which will be rolling out over the next few months. This is a smart move again for TikTok, because this is going to be a way for people to continue to have and build relationships, parasocial ones, with their favorite creators on the app. And I hate saying creator. It's excellent. It's excellent. I really like this idea. It's a great business model, and it's going to keep people either on the TikTok app by listening to Apple Music songs, or experiencing the live streaming of songs, or it'll keep them in the iHeart family by saying, "Hey, check out TikTok Radio for free," and also at Jenica Spins has a podcast about makeup tutorials or anxiety. Yeah, that shit. TikTok Radio sucks. I hate it. And why? It is the end of... All right, I'm going to take a little digression. It is the end of the workday. Why am I getting so many fucking emails? TikTok Radio, I never liked it when I was on SiriusXM. I always avoided it, but it was the most popular. Like you can go on the SiriusXM app and find the most popular stations based on the searches, and SiriusXM will show you, like, if you just go to the search part, and it's always it was TikTok Radio, Unwell, which is the who's that woman I despise, Alex. I don't even know her name. Alex, oh God, she's the woman who's like complaining about stuff, and she's sad or something. Shit, I don't know her name. Unwell. It is. What is her name? I show her name. The Call Her Daddy host, Alex Cooper. Oh my gosh. Also, I searched Unwell. There's so many. Jesus, they really doubled down on her. But anyway, if you go to the search section on SiriusXM, you can see the things that are most popular searched. It's Howard Stern. These have shifted as of late. Howard Stern, ESPN Radio. You can tell the ages of the people that listen to SiriusXM because it's like 70s on 7, The Bridge, Yacht Rock, baby. And then like it's always Fox News, The Highway, which is the country one, SiriusXM Patriot, POTUS, the POTUS channel, Politics of the United States, the Megyn Kelly channel. Jesus Christ. And then Dr. Laura on Triumph. Oh, God. I was at the gym one day, and I have you know, you go to the gym, and I've been at the same gym for roughly 9-ish years. No, ma'am. And I've seen every type of person come in and out of that gym. I have a lot of people I know that go there, and they all vary in ages. One of the people is an older gentleman, and he's very nice. We are friends. We have each other's numbers. We're friendly with each other. And one day he was showing me something on his phone, and he unlocked his phone, and he was listening to SiriusXM, and he was listening to the Fox News channel. And I had an inkling. No, he's a nice guy, but. And then every time I've seen him since, it's always on, like, his phone's always on Fox News. There was one guy I worked with at Bounce TV, and he would have Fox News, or, EW Scripts, whatever. But he would have Fox News on his computer playing all the time. And he was the nicest guy, but he would always have Fox News on. This is like, what year is it, 2026? So this is like roughly 5 or 6 years ago. Anyway. So they're going to have signature segments on TikTok Radio, Behind the Charts, hacks on the 20s, trending life hacks. I've worked so hard. And shit like that is just like popping up. Hot takes, New Music Fridays, and On the Verge, which you can all guess what that stuff is. And the station's host lineup will feature people like Kiss FM's Kayla Thomas, Houston's Ashley Young, My FM LA's John Camouche, Star San Diego, Star 94.1 San Diego's Becky Mitz, 1T, Wild 94.9 San Francisco's Angelina Navarez. And so just follow at TikTok Radio on TikTok to get all the stuff. Again, this is just the next solvable thing. And you may say, who listens to the radio? iHeartRadio is very popular, and I think as much as SiriusXM, as we hear like numbers of SiriusXM either lessening or leveling out, it's people still listen to satellite radio. And then when conversely go over to domestic radio, a lot of people just, don't give a shit. They will just listen to the radio. And, if people don't want to plug up their phones or can't, then they just will listen to the radio in the car. I listen to SiriusXM. I still plug my phone in so I can get Android Auto, but I have no interest in listening to anything. I don't want to listen to a podcast. Because I can just do that at home or on a walk with the dog, or an audiobook. I don't want to mess around with the same 15 playlists. I have 100 or so playlists. I have a lot of playlists for YouTube Music, but I only keep like 10 or 15 downloaded to my phone, as well as, the latest albums of Harry Styles' new album, which is good. I like it. And, or, Mitski's new album. I will have the new albums downloaded to my phone. And then that's pretty much it. And I don't want to listen to the same thing over and over and over again because I do. All right. It's either going to be The Weeknd, Bruce Springsteen, Taylor Swift, Pearl Jam, or U2. It's going to be one of those 5X. So it's people still listen to the radio. It's a huge thing. Big news for TikTok. All right, I'm done. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website cpluscomedy.com where you can see me talk to famous people. I just put out an interview with Matt Koff, who's a Daily Show writer. So go ahead and check that out. It's also on. You can also find interviews under this RSS feed. If you want to see a video version of the interviews, go to youtube.com/cpluscomedy where you can see a video version of that, as well as video versions of this podcast and video versions of the other podcasts. Late Night Lately, Late Night Show, and LinkedIn Logs, the jobs and business news podcast. Again, all of that's on cpluscomedy.com as well. Check us out on social media at cpluscomedy on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Me on those platforms at Chad Black White. Thank you so much for listening. I hope to see you again soon or hear you again. Doesn't matter. Who cares? All right. Bye.